Do you sometimes feel like you're a victim in your life? Do you feel like you're a victim to your circumstances and that the circumstances that you're experiencing are actually blocking you from achieving the success that you actually want? Do you feel like the area that you're in is blocking you, or your family, or maybe you experienced something in the past and you think that that past thing is blocking you from achieving success in your life or achieving something powerful in your life? I want to share with you in this video how to let go of the victim mentality, because no matter what's going on in your life right now, the truth is that the victim mentality is not going to do anything for you. It's only going to hold you back from getting out of that situation, because when you play the role of victim, it keeps you stuck as a victim. That's how it works. When you play the role of victim, it keeps you stuck as a victim to that circumstance that you do not want to be in. So in other words, when you think that you're a victim to your circumstance, you stay stuck in that circumstance regardless of what the circumstance actually is. And trust me, I understand. Some people are not as fortunate as others to grow up in an environment where things can be easy, like maybe, financial stability or having food on the table. Now, whatever it is that you're going through, maybe, it's not as bad as not having money or not having food. Let's assume that you have those things, but even if you don't, playing victim is not going to help you to get out of that situation. So I'm going to share with you in this video how to overcome victim mentality, how to step out of survival and step into thriving instead, so you can actually get out of that situation and live into your highest vision. So if you're new to this channel, what you have to do right now is hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, let go of fear, let go of anxiety, let go of worry, so you can live into your highest vision, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. So the first step to overcome victim mentality in your life is to realize that things are not happening to you, but they are in fact happening for you. Right now, I know that's not easy to accept when certain things are happening that may appear like they're happening to you, right? Now, whatever it is that's happening in your life, it's always good to have the mindset that it is not happening to you, but it is happening for you. Because when I started to go through my spiritual awakening a couple years back, what I realized is that everything happens for a reason. Now, I'm not just saying things happen for you in a way that's motivating you to be in a mindset where it's like, oh, you know what, Francis is actually right. That's a beautiful mindset. Thank you, Francis. Things are happening for me. No, you don't want to believe me and be motivated. That does nothing for your life. You want to actually experience and see through your consciousness that everything is happening for you. You believing me does nothing for your growth. If you believe me that things are happening for you and you take that as motivation, that is absolutely useless. I said it, useless. Nothing. Does nothing for you. If you don't actually see through the consciousness, through your experience, that things are in fact happening for you and that adversity is meant for you to grow, you don't actually embody that belief at a deeper level, then what happens is that you stay stuck in victim. You might be motivated for 2 minutes after watching this video. It's like yeah, things are happening for me. That's amazing. And then you go back to playing victim. It does not help you. So what you got to realize is that things are actually happening for you. Well, how can this be the case? How can it be that, I don't have money right now, Francis, and you're saying that this is happening for me? Well, you got to realize that my belief is that everything happens in specific divine timing. Okay, so when you're going through adversity, you have to see that that past trauma you dealt with always leads to you letting it go and then transcending into something higher. So I'll give you an example. If you have family trauma, karma, so to speak, negative emotions that you got from your family, you can play the victim, you can play that role if you want, your choice. But what you can also realize is that those patterns are there for you to transcend them and shift to a higher level of consciousness. You see, so when we're born into a family that you may think is without choice, I believe that at a higher level we chose that. You can see that in that situation that you're in, you can either play the victim to circumstance, or you can reframe it and actually see that those patterns are meant for you to overcome them, because that is what the journey of your soul really wants. Now, of course, that's a little bit more esoteric. I can't prove that to you. But when you start to go through spiritual awakening, you'll start to actually see that there is no coincidence, and that these things, it's almost like the universe is planting little situations for you specifically so that you can actually overcome them. And that's what you call the abundance mindset. Okay, that's what I personally call a higher consciousness mindset. It's a mindset that you develop as a result of having a higher level of consciousness. And you can actually experience that things are happening for you. Right now in my life, when I experience a negative trigger in my life, I could actually not just believe it, but be directly conscious of the fact that trigger is meant for me to release it so that I can awaken to a higher level of consciousness. And without that trigger, there's nothing to awaken from. Think about this. If you don't have triggers, if you don't have past conditioning to transcend, then what is the point of life? It's literally there for you to transcend it, to play the game of life, the game of the highs and the lows. Without the lows, you can't get to the highs. Now you need to get to the lows to get to the highs, and the only way to get to the highs is by moving through the lows and realizing that those lows are literally there for your growth. When you play that, when you have that kind of mindset, what happens is, first of all, you shift into the abundance. So whether it actually is happening for you, okay, that's an opinion, I guess. That's a belief system I have, but pretty good belief system to have, don't you think? Pretty good belief system to have that things are in fact happening for you. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. The belief system that things are happening to you, also very valid. The question is, which one do you want to play? Do you want to play the role of victim, or do you want to play the role of the hero's journey that actually transmutes negative energy into positive energy, realizing that things are happening for you, not to you? It's not that this situation happens to me and I'm a victim. It's that it happens to me and I transmute that into a higher consciousness state, or that I grow from that. You see, all that negative past trauma in your family, all those situations, all the adversity in your life, that's not happening to you, it is happening for you. Now, the more that you develop this mindset, you'll see that you can actually shift to the life that you really want to create, and that nothing's happening to you. It is actually happening for your growth. The universe wants to see you grow, so it's challenging you sometimes. Use that challenge as a spiritual practice to be even more present in the moment and go deeper into who you actually are at a deeper level, which is pure consciousness. So the second sign, the second way to overcome the victim mentality is to realize that adversity equals growth. Challenges are here to help you grow. Okay, challenges are here to help you grow. Now, you can be challenged when the universe pushes you to challenge, pushes you into a challenge randomly, because everything is always changing, and eventually you're going to face adversity, and you can wait for the universe to push you and teach you that lesson the hard way, or you can do it the easy way and understand right away, right now, that adversity equals growth. There's two things that are going to happen in your life. Either right now, you're going to get this lesson and realize that the only way to grow is to put yourself into uncomfort. Now, of course, making that uncomfort as easy as possible with the least resistance is what I teach. But you got to realize that either you're going to learn this yourself right now, or the universe is going to force you to learn this lesson. Now you got to realize that adversity actually equals growth. So when you're facing a challenge in your life, that's actually happening for you to grow. That's why you're experiencing challenges. You experience challenges to help you grow. Now, of course, you don't have to take that mindset on, but it's a very good mindset to have, because if you play the victim mentality in your life, you're always going to stay stuck in that reality, right? Don't play victim. Playing victim does not help you to empower your life. Playing victim keeps you stuck. So when a challenge arises, a good reframe you can have is to just remind yourself, this is happening to help me grow. When I experience the ego backlash in my meditation, when I experience a challenge in my meditation, I always remind myself, this is happening to help me grow. It's really, really powerful to have this mindset, because every time you're faced with a challenge and you immediately have the belief system that it's there to help you grow, and that adversity is you could use it as a tool, right? A challenge arises, use that as a tool to be more present to the moment and to move deeper into the experience of life. That helps you grow immensely. That helps you to get out of the victim mentality immensely, because you don't see challenges as things that are going to put you in victim anymore. You just see them as a way to help you grow even more. And it's super, super powerful, because those challenges it's almost like nothing can faze you. You're totally fearless. And any challenge that arises is just another reason for you to grow and to move deeper into the spiritual awakening process, and to become more present to the moment and shift into who you really are as the conscious, high conscious being that you really are. Okay, challenges are here to help you grow. Maybe it's just a belief system. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe challenges are just challenges, but you got to remember that reality is pretty much meaningless. You create the meaning, right? So you can view a challenge as something that puts you in victim, or you can view it in a way that helps you to raise your consciousness. Now, both of these are ultimately meaningless, but you can create the meaning and make your life so much easier when you choose to have that mentality. It is really a choice. And the question is, are you making that choice consciously or unconsciously? Like, I'm not saying this is the objective truth. I'm saying that this is my truth. My truth is that challenges are here to help me grow. Now, that doesn't have to be your truth. Your truth can be that challenges put you in victim, and it's happening to me. Why is this happening? But do you really want that mentality? Do you want to live that kind of life where challenges are just making you play victim? Or do you want to choose the truth and choose the mindset that it is happening for you to help you grow, and that growth equals challenge, and that without challenge, there is no growth. Uncomfort equals growth. Now, can you make the uncomfortable comfortable is the question. Can you become comfortable with challenge and make it a normal part of your life? That is where the real growth actually happens. So the third way to overcome the victim mentality in your life is to realize that victim mentality actually creates more destruction in your life. When you play victim, it creates more of what it is that you don't want. So if you think that you're a victim to a circumstance that you don't want to be in, playing that role of the victim keeps you stuck in that circumstance and creates more destruction for yourself and for others. Here's an example. Let's say you're in a situation where you're getting yelled at by a person. Okay, very simple example. This is a lesser example in comparison to not having money or being in a situation where you don't have food or something like that. You know, here's a small example. You're being yelled at, right? Somebody's yelling at you, giving you negative energy. Maybe it's a family member, so there's no running away here. You can't just leave. You have to deal with the situation somehow, right? How do you deal with this? Well, realize that if you're a victim and you start resisting that moment, you start thinking, why is this person yelling at me? I'm a victim. Why is this person in my life? Why is this happening to me? Victim, 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 ego, resistance, resistance, resistance. What happens? You end up resisting that argument. You end up fighting back usually. It's almost like imagine you're taking gasoline and you're just throwing it into the fire. You're just like adding more gas to the fire. That's what the victim mentality does. You're taking gasoline and you're adding it to the fire. You're literally going to a forest fire and you're just pouring more gas over the fire. That is what the victim mentality does. It creates destruction on the planet. How do you overcome this? You become present to the moment and realize that you're not a victim and that situation is happening for you. You become present to the moment and you transmute that negative energy into positive energy with the awareness that you really are. Okay, so the negative energy is coming at you. What do? Use that as a practice to go back to the breathing, become more present to the moment, become the awareness of who you are. Do not resist that argument. Don't resist the adversity of that situation. Use it as a tool for growth. Face it dead on. Okay, victim mentality creates more destruction than needed, because destruction is not needed. Okay, growth happens, change happens, things gotta, die, so to speak. You gotta release things, but don't create more destruction than you need. Okay, so once again, this could be my mindset, this could be my perception, but it is true. This one's a truth. This is not an opinion. This is truth. Victim creates destruction. The first two was more of a mindset thing, on top of truth, of course, because the truth is that there is actually a way to transcend those emotions, the negative emotions. But you got to realize that if you stay victim, you're creating destruction for yourself and others. That is the truth. So stop playing victim, choose to play a new role, and watch what happens in your life, okay? Now, how do you actually overcome this? Here's a simple answer. You learn to prioritize being present to the moment and realizing that you are not the ego. That's the ultimate way to overcome this, because the ego plays victim. The ego resists. The false self resists life. The false self, the ego, lives in fear and thinks that everything's a victim, everything's an issue. But here's what happens is that when you start to raise your level of consciousness and you shift to a higher level of consciousness, you automatically let go of the ego mindset, which is connected with victim. So when you start to raise your level of consciousness and raise your vibration and potentially go through what you may call a spiritual awakening, what happens is that you stop playing the victim mentality, because the victim mentality is a result of a lower consciousness, survival-based mindset. So when you start to raise your consciousness, when you start to become a higher consciousness being, which you already are, but you become conscious of the fact that you already are a higher consciousness being that is blocked by the ego, you start to see that nothing is happening to you, but it is happening for you. I'm being serious. You can realize this for yourself when you raise your consciousness. You don't have to believe me. Once again, believing me does nothing. The ultimate way to overcome the victim mentality, just to conclude this video, is to prioritize your awareness and your consciousness and realize that the victim mentality is a result of the ego. The victim mentality is a result of the ego. I'm going to say that one more time. The victim mentality is a result of your ego. So once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, no pun intended, and live into your highest vision, live into your purpose, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.